So if you're anything like me, luxury makeup is one of those things that you're interested in, but you want it to basically do your makeup for you if you get it, right? I feel like there's not very many products that you can really say are worth the price point. In fact, I would say that none of these products are actually worth the price point. So if you're talking about like price for product, you're better off buying something high-end or drugstore. There's just no comparison price-wise. However, luxury makeup worth the money or even worth its weight in gold, that's a different story. So the first item, okay, I will say that as far as makeup is concerned, there were a few categories that I didn't have something in the luxury makeup category that I was like, this is worth the money. One of them is on my lips, the other one is my eyebrows. For my eyebrows, I just used the Rare Beauty brow powder. For my lips, I used the Tarte Maracuja Juicy Lip. Those were really the two categories that I was like, I don't really have one that I want to share. But first, starting with eyes, because I always start with eyes when I do my makeup. I just find that then there's not as much fallout. So starting with eyes, we have the Natasha Denona mini palettes. Now, I'm specifically referring to the mini palettes, and this could be any of the mini palettes. The reason I say the mini palettes and not the larger palettes, I have purchased now 2 of Natasha Denona's larger palettes, and both times I've just found that the shades repeat themselves just enough and are not quite enough variety to really create the kinds of looks that I want. The mini palettes, though, tend to have a shimmer, a sort of skin tone, a mid-tone, another mid-tone, and then like a deep color. These you can create a decent amount with, and I love them. They're only $27. I say only, but it's for 5 shadows, so still very expensive, but these are so pretty. They do basically do the work of blending out your eyeshadow for you. And like I said, I have 4 of them, so you know that I love them. And this is like any of the minis that speak to you, that's what I would get. The next luxury product that I actually think is worth the money are the Danessa Myrick, oh my gosh, Infinite Chrome Flakes. These are $25, which is crazy expensive for this little tube. But I'm wearing it, so it just in this center piece is where I'm wearing it. They are so pretty and they set down. A lot of the times when I have this kind of formula, it doesn't fully set down. This stuff does, and it will stay. But first of all, check that out, and then check out this swatch. The nice thing about Danessa Myricks too is that she never tells you how to use a product or the correct way of using a product, which I think is kind of nice because sometimes I think we get too set in our ways, for lack of a better term, and we feel like, oh, well, this says that it's for this, and so we can only use it for this. And honestly, I love makeup just pretty much no matter what. I've done quite a bit of SFX makeup as well, and some of the best looks I've created have been half done with an eyeshadow palette on my face because that's what I needed. So these are so pretty on the eye. I love how this looks. I keep like eyeballing them and I'm like, I should get another one. And then I think about how expensive they are, and I'm on the one hand, I hate that I love it because it's so good. On the other hand, now I want more because it's so good. All right, next product that I think is worth the money. I didn't have a mascara in the luxury category that I really thought was worth the money. But next we have foundation. So I'm wearing this one as well. This is the Giorgio Armani Luminous Silk Foundation. This has been out for a long time. Now, if you're not into medium to sheer coverage, you're not gonna like this, but it is so skin-like. I have never found another foundation that does what this one does. This one just sits great, and my skin is very textured and it gets like really bumpy in places, and this never enhances that. I can't tell you the amount of times that I've had someone be like, your skin looks beautiful just because I'm wearing this stuff. It's so good. The only thing is, this is in the 60, I think it's 69. Let me double check. Yeah, this is $69. And I have tried so many foundations and I don't think I can part with this. I think I'm like halfway through the bottle. Let me see. I'm pretty sure I'm halfway through the bottle and I'm going to have to repurchase this. Like there's just no way around it. Oh yeah, it's definitely like halfway. Okay. Love this. I apparently skipped a step. I'm not a huge fan of primers in general, but when I discovered this one, I kind of instantly fell in love because I don't want necessarily something that's going to fill my pores. Like, yes, I have some, but I'm more worried about making sure that things don't sit heavy on my skin or look weird. And I think I got a little sample size of this stuff and then I ended up buying it because I loved it so much. So this is the Bobbi Brown Vitamin Enriched Face Paste. This is the jumbo size, which is crazy expensive, but the more mint sized one is about $66. Okay, first of all, if you don't like fragrance, you're not gonna like this because it does have like almost this citrusy, clean scent to it. This is so nice. I feel like whenever I put it on my skin just feels nice afterwards. I know that doesn't sound like very much, but sometimes with like certain primers, certain moisturizers, like I know people really do like the e.l.f. putty primer, but that stuff just sits so weird on my skin and I hate it. And this never does that. It's so smooth. And not like smoothing, but it feels smooth going on. And it looks smooth with makeup on top of it, which is what I actually want. So this Bobbi Brown Face Base Primer, so worth the money. Trust me. All right, next. So I didn't have a concealer that I was super in love with in the luxury category. I did end up using a Pat McGrath concealer, but it's just not my favorite concealer. So I'm not going to talk about it because I don't necessarily think that this one is worth your money. Next in this category. All right, Hourglass is one of those brands that when I first got something from Hourglass, it was a sample. And then I fell in love and I was like, well, I have to try more. So I bought this. I actually bought the regular ambient lighting palette first, and then I ended up getting this guy. So this is the Lighting Edit palette. Okay, when I tell you, this made me fall in love with baked bronzers. Like, I never really liked a baked formula until I tried this one. This is the first time that I ever tried a baked formula and I was like, this is good. Same thing with the blush. The blush is just so pretty. Let me just like, I actually like this purple blush a little bit more, so let's swatch that. I mean, like the pink one is super pretty too. And then we have this bronzer. I have used this a lot. Did you see that go on? It's just, it melts, and I hate it when people say that, and I'm saying it because it's true. This just glides into the skin. I really use this bottom row the most. I like the setting powder and I like the highlighter. I did put some of the highlighter on my face, but this bottom row, and I honestly, you could get these in individuals, but I actually think that this palette is worth it because it's a great just travel, like, well, travel might be a little bit pushing it, but it's a great just everyday palette. It's so pretty. This one is like almost always just like sitting out on my vanity. Love, 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 love this Hourglass makeup. It is definitely worth the money. And you know how some baked formulas tend to be like almost too hard pressed when you like touch it, it feels kind of gross. This one never feels like that, and that's I think why I fell in love with it. The other highlighter, as far as setting, I have talked about this stuff before and I'm going to talk about it again because I might be obsessed. So we have the Pat McGrath Labs. Look at how much I've used it, like you can't even see the lettering on it anymore. But this is the Under Eye Blurring Perfecting Powder. I'm gonna have to replace it too soon because I've used so much of it. You like see the dent. I always set my under eyes with this because I find that when I try to use something else, it's always just too heavy for my under eyes. I love this stuff. It always goes on beautifully. It always looks great. It actually lasts for longer than you would think, especially considering how little product you get. I want to say this is like $30 or 33, somewhere around there. So good. This is another product that I basically instantly fell in love with because it's just that good. The next product, and I actually haven't set my face yet. This is one of the few things that I've actually really enjoyed from Charlotte Tilbury. It's the Airbrush Flawless Setting Spray. I love this stuff. I really didn't think I would, but feels like hairspray for your face. It like locks everything in. And if I remember correctly, it does have a scent. Honestly, my sniffer doesn't work very well, so I think it has a scent, but it's hard to tell. But it locks everything in. It looks gorgeous. Like I really am obsessed with this one. Like you can tell how much I've used, and I'm trying to conserve this one. No, let's be real. I'm gonna end up using it. I'm not trying to conserve anything. It's just that good. So there you have it. Those are the luxury makeup products that I actually think are worth the price. There are some others that I like honorable mentions that I think are really nice, but those ones, the Giorgio Armani foundation, the Pat McGrath under eye setting powder, the Natasha Denona mini palettes, the Charlotte Tilbury Flawless Filter Setting Spray, like these are just beautiful products that honestly half the time I'm like, I don't want to live without this. I don't want to go without this product. And to me, that's how I know like it's a luxury product. If I'm going to continue purchasing it and paying that price point, it's a good product. I have to say, like, even this Hourglass palette, yes, you can get these in individuals, and honestly, I probably will. Like, when I run out of this bronzer, I don't know if you can tell, but that's the one that I've used the most, I'm going to purchase it. The blushes too. Like I said, this bottom row is like a holy grail status for me. I love the bottom row. It's what I'm wearing on my cheeks. It's what I'm wearing for bronzer and blush. It's so pretty. There are other products, for instance, the Dior Backstage blush that everybody's obsessed with. I have it. I have also the, let's see, the berry shade, and I think it's really pretty. It's not necessarily one that I would say is worth the price. Like these products that I talked about, I'm like, it's worth the price. I would pay the money over and over again, and in a lot of these cases I have. So that just goes to show how much I actually like it and enjoy it. So hope you enjoyed. If you have any products that you feel like I missed, let me know, because I love exploring new makeup products. We'll see you next week. Bye!